Welcome, everyone. This is the Naughty List on Jack of All Trivia. Who am I? I am Hayden, the villain Pendergast. And I have a panel of outstanding gentlemen here. A lot of us are meeting for the first time, but some of these guys are familiar faces. We're going to go first to my brother in arms, Caleb Mashed Potatoes. He's in the building. How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? I was doing something, so I was distracted. I'm excited to get this started. This is going to be a lot of fun. The Naughty List, we haven't done it in a while, but it's back, and it's better than ever. Starting out with this top 10 people that are owned by Fox that we want in the MCU, and I'm excited. Let's do this.
Hell yeah. And then we're going to go to our international star, Malcolm Goldie Lake.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Just can't wait to do this.
Awesome. And of course, we got here a guy we haven't seen in a while. We have Thomas. I don't want to butcher your last name, so you could say that if you like, brother.
You know me as Super Geeks. We're Thomas from Super Geeks. Check us out on Facebook. Yeah, I'm very excited to do this. Looking forward to it.
ChronoFett in the house.
ChronoFett.
Awesome. And then we got another good friend of his. We have Jeff Matson. Matson?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you could also go by Jeff from Super Geeks. Thomas and I started Super Geeks about 10 years ago. It's been a fun Facebook community full of geeky friends. Caleb's been a good friend of ours for a couple of years, so I'd say, well, a lot more than a couple of years.
A little bit more, yeah. Since the podcast days.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have Christopher Day. How you doing, brother? Christopher?
Oh, hey. Sorry.
Malcolm.
Sorry. I'm that one guy that doesn't realize he said my name. No, I'm good, man. How are you? I'm glad to be here. I've been busy. It's been a busy week. I love how the list says naughty, and we're doing a naughty list when it's just nothing but comic books. And so I guess since Fox is now Disney, I guess blue people. So we're going to get naughty. I'm excited.
All right. And the last guy we got here, but he is standing a giant amongst men. He is Caleb Boatman. How you doing, brother?
I'm just happy to be here.
All right. And of course, we're going to pick the top 10 people we want to see from the Fox merger into Disney that we want to see in the MCU. We will go, each person will give their number 10. If somebody else has that person ranked higher, they will say pass, hold on to that person, and then we'll go to the next person. And then we talk about that character for a couple minutes, you know? So without further ado,
hold on one second. They said, what will they say if they have the same one?
Just pass. Like, hey, I got that, just pass.
Okay.
Or like, just say I have that on my list.
How high up do we have it if we say something?
No, you just say pass.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay. Unless it's really close. If it's 10 and you have it 9, you say, hey, I got that person at 9. Then whoever has that person hemisphere, those guys could talk about it. Okay. All right. Without further ado, I guess let's get it started here. We're gonna go to Mashed Potatoes. Who you have as number 10?
Oh, you bastard! You asked me to share the link, you idiot. All right. Hang on, my list. I have to go back to it now. Oh, okay. My list. I have at number 10. We've seen him before in like a terrible, terrible movie, but he deserves way better. My number 10 is, of course, the Silver Surfer. Norman.
I have that on my list.
I have that on mine.
Everybody's list.
I have that on mine as well.
The record is not on my list.
Does anybody else have that as number 10?
I do. I actually do have it as number 10.
Mine. That's way high on mine.
It's way higher.
It's my number 10. It's my number 10.
Thomas?
Yeah, I am way high.
Yeah, I have mine super high.
Definitely have them on your list.
I have it on number 10.
Yeah, it's cool.
Two number 2, but everybody else is higher, so we're gonna go We're gonna have to skip that one and let's go to Jeff since he didn't have him on his list. Who do you have, sir?
I did not. I have number 10. We did get to see this character before in a previous X-Men movie, but I think, and as much as I really loved the actress who played her, I think Psylocke needs a good comeback. I think that there's a lot of the ways that they could bring X-Men into the MCU could be a couple different ways. A lot of people say that they have the theory of it going the way of the Ultimates comics, where one event happened and then all of a sudden mutants started to awaken. But I think that they could go with a way where kind of like what they did with Spider-Man, where he was already there, he was kind of already established, that we don't have to get into his origin and just kind of throw him in and say like, okay, well, the X-Men have always been around, but they've kind of always worked in the shadows. They have always been unnoticed, and Professor X has always erased memories, things like that. So I think that Psylocke is kind of one of those like special agent kind of mutants that I think could easily get away with a story like that.
All right, Psylocke. Does anybody else have her on their list?
No.
Nope.
She's got nice
All right.
legs, but I don't.
Olivia Munn, I believe. played
Yes,
her.
Olivia Munn, right, Thomas?
Yeah.
One of his like 15 female
that's-
crushes in the X-Men alone.
Interesting. Number 10. Okay. All
Put her
right,
in the
let's go to
X-Force
Malcolm. Malcolm?
My number 10 I've got is Wolverine.
Oh, I got him.
Way up. Way up.
Mine is really higher.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so we're passing on that. So me and Malcolm both have him at number 10. Interesting. Okay. All right. Then let's go to Thomas. Who do you have as number 10?
All right, we have seen this
My-
character before, but I felt like they never did her right ever. We need strong Rogue, right? We got Captain Marvel now. Anybody else have Rogue? I don't know. We have Captain Marvel now. I think maybe like a Captain Marvel sequel. We could get Rogue, Avengers versus X-Men or something. We could do that thing where Rogue.
That needs to be its whole
They're
thing.
murdering Miss Marvel.
But hold on,
Yeah,
guys.
I mean, you could put her in a coma by the end of the movie, and then we'll be like, that's the big cliffhanger, and Rogue becomes strong Rogue. Really, the X-Men movies have never really had a strong man. They did Colossus just barely. So I think they need a strong man on the X-Men, and I think Rogue would be a great, strong, flying X-Man.
All right. Anybody else have Rogue?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
All right. All right. Psylocke and Rogue were two ones that nobody else had. Okay. Let's go to Christopher Day. You're number
Hi.
10.
Yes, I had the same as Caleb. I had Silver Surfer at number 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're pushing that up. That's right. We're pushing that up. All right. Let's go to Boatman.
Yeah, I've got a really weird pick for my number 10. I've got Avalanche, but I don't have the one. I've got the Lance Alvers version from the X-Men Evolution cartoon.
Oh.
Now, hear me out.
Very specific.
Hear me out. Lance Alvers, the most interesting part of his character in that is that he was in a relationship with Kitty Pryde, or not really a relationship, but they kind of had a thing. And I think, not to spoil anything on my list, but I have Kitty Pryde coming in, and I think that could bring a lot of drama going in there, kind of having, two characters that, have attraction to one another, but they're on opposite sides, and I don't think we've seen that in the MTU, and I think that could be super interesting.
It would be, but that's from the cartoon, not from the comics, and they took a lot of their lore from the comic books.
Well,
So,
yeah,
I
but
don't-
Harley Quinn originated in a cartoon.
This is true.
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh.
for script, they're not going to probably go to that well,
I think that version of Avalanche is in the comics as well. So
Anyway,
Right.
that's why it's my number 10. It's not like
Hey, it's a good pick.
Oh, that's a cool one. I don't know if the romance will work, but Avalanche is a pretty cool
I'm getting
villain.
sick of romance in comic movies.
All right, we're gonna go to number 9, I believe. If everybody already had their say at number 10, we had 2 pushed up. So my number 9, I'll go first this time. I am going with Marvel's original Superman himself, the Gladiator.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Yep, I believe he first appeared in the Fantastic Four comics. I love his mohawk, and he is basically the way Superman should have been, an alien on the alien world. And since Marvel doesn't have their own Superman yet, Sentry is still kind of new. Hyperion, I mean, he would be cool, but Fox didn't own that, I don't believe. So if we're gonna go Starjammers route, I would pick Gladiator.
I believe he wasn't he an X-Men villain, actually? Like he was a member of
Well, I think he might have been it was either Fantastic Four or X-Men, but he did a lot.
It was X-Men. Yeah.
The Shi'ar.
He was like a guard for the Shi'ar.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right.
Royal Guard. Yeah. But yeah, great pick. I love me some Gladiator.
All right. Well, let's go back to Boatman. Who do you have number 9?
I've got Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat.
Anybody else?
Pass. I've got fire.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
9, Kitty Pryde.
We're pushing that one too.
Ooh.
That's nice. All right. Let's go to Jeff.
Yo, I know that this guy is on I would hope everybody's list, but Mr. Fantastic.
Pass.
Yeah. Higher.
Pass.
9, Mr. Fantastic. All right. Ooh, all right. Let's see what Christopher Day has.
I have one of the best in the history of Marvel villains, MODOK.
MODOK.
Interesting.
The man named MODOK. No, I really wanted this guy. And I think that he needs to be in a goddamn Marvel movie. Because this is not only one of the best characters ever. I mean, you know who's going to be the perfect casting, and I know he's in Infinity War? Fucking Peter Dinklage.
Peter
man.
Dinklage.
Put Peter Dinklage as MODOK.
Yeah, no, hands down, Peter Dinklage would have been perfect.
Absolutely.
He can do both. He can do both.
I will. Yeah, I will, like, rest in peace, John Snow, but I will come sweaty nerds if Peter Dinklage becomes fucking MODOK, man. But that's my number 9.
That's what we are rated NC-17.
That would be amazing.
Nudity.
That's like when Ben Affleck got casted as Batman. I lost my shit.
All right. Let's go to Malcolm.
My number 9 I've got is Magneto.
Oh, pass.
Way up higher on my list.
Pass.
I don't have him, actually.
Magneto, yeah, we got to pass on that, cat. All right, let's go to Thomas.
All right, I know nobody has this on their list. I kind of decided to throw out just a fun one here. You're going to all hate it, but hear me out. Number 9, we should have ourselves a Gwenpool movie.
Stop it right now.
No.
Shut your mouth. I'm so done with your crap.
I picked up her trades this summer, and it's hilarious stuff. I'm going to spoil the origin in case anybody cares about that. Gwenpool spoilers.
I know.
She is from our world. She lives in this universe with us, with all of us here. She is one of us. Somehow she got trapped in the Marvel Comics. She is aware she's in the Marvel Comics, and she's playing the rules of Marvel Comics. So she knows how Marvel Comics work. She knows the rules. She can kind of game them to her to help her get at the advantage. It's very humorous. It's absolutely a parody. She has swords. She has guns. It's fun. It's fun. I would love to see Gwenpool as a Marvel satire parody movie.
I could see that in like a in the Deadpool universe maybe.
Sure.
But like, how would that fit in the MCU really? Like, how do you see that fitting in the MCU?
It'd have to be a parody for sure. But yeah,
He met Doctor Strange, and in the comics and stuff. But and then she actually gained a superpower towards the end of her run, which is actually pretty cool. And you can check her out on the West Coast Avengers dropping soon for Marvel Comics. She's gonna be on that team. All right. Last but not least, let's go to mashed potatoes. Who you have number 9?
I've got so I kind of went mostly away from people we've seen before. So most of my list, people are going to be like, "Who the hell is that?" But I went with somebody who you may know from the new X-Men comic books from the early 2000s, and he was a villain-ish person. I'm going with Zorn.
Zorn.
Anybody know Zorn?
Oh, I know.
I do. That's obscure.
Yeah. Kuan Yin Zorn. Yeah. I mean, the dude is so freaking cool. He's got that like skull mask on. He's got like a star stuck in his head.
Yeah.
Like he's got so much power too. Like teleportation, makes wormholes, freaking gravity manipulation, telepathy. Like he's so freaking cool. Like I would love to see him in a movie. Like just I don't care where. Just throw him into a movie and it'll be awesome.
I think that was when Grant Morrison, if I'm not mistaken, was writing X-Men comics. He introduced that cat.
Yep. Grant Morrison created him.
Yeah, but I thought it was revealed to be Magneto. Anyway, all right. So that's we have 2 down and we have 8 to go. So number 8. Thomas, who do you have as number 8?
This is where I put Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde. I don't know if she's any higher on anyone else's list.
Ooh.
She's higher on mine, but not by much.
Higher on you. And Caleb Bowman had her at number 9. So we got 3 people with Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde. So we're gonna have to do a pass on that one.
A lot of Kitty Pryde fans.
All right, let's go to Malcolm. Who do you have as number 8?
My number 8 I've got is Deadpool.
Pass.
Deadpool is higher.
Okay. Yeah, Josh got him higher.
All right.
Poor Malcolm.
All right.
Malcolm will not speak.
Hey, once these guys are going, Malcolm will definitely get a chance to talk. All right, let's go to Caleb Boatman.
Yeah, I realized I messed up, and this character was supposed to be my number 9, and Kitty Pryde was supposed to be my number 8, but it's no big deal. My number 8, well, I guess 9, is Mastermind.
Ooh.
Ooh, all right.
A little bit of a deeper cut character.
Villain, right?
No, an X-Men villain.
Oh, that's right, X-Men. Okay.
Yeah, part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Yeah, I think cinematically you can do a lot of interesting stuff with this because if you don't know, his power is the ability to kind of manipulate your mind and make you see things that you don't really see. And I think you can do a lot of interesting things with that. I think that's a really cool concept, and it works cinematically because it's a very visual power. So I think that'd be super cool to see.
Plus, he looks like a normal dude in a trench coat. So,
yeah,
like there's not a whole lot of budget into the.
Yeah.
They look like Unbreakable.
Frankly, it's not as if Marvel needs any more giant CGI villains. Am I right?
This is true.
Yeah.
Like he's got a grounded. Yeah, he'd be a great villain.
All right, let's go to if he's back. Jeff, who do you have number 8?
My number 8, I'm sure, is on other people's as well, but Professor X.
Hold on.
No, he's on mine.
He's not on anyone else's list?
No.
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, and maybe it's because we've had a bit of an oversaturation of a lot of the X-Men in general, but with Professor X, what I really would like to see with this kind of Professor X is kind of like the voice of kind reason in the team, because you don't see a lot of it. You see a lot of compassion coming from Captain America, but when it comes to the rest of the MCU, you don't see a lot of positivity, especially now, obviously, with the Infinity War. But I would like to see him bring in this, like, everything around us is messed up, but everything will be okay kind of attitude.
Well, yeah, that's true. I didn't put him on my list because we've had so many of them. But well, that's a give me. I think he will definitely show up there. But anyway, let's go to mashed potatoes before I give my number 8.
My number 8 is somebody who makes sense to be in the MCU, because both of her siblings have been in the MCU.
Oh.
So my number 9 is Polaris. The daughter of Magneto. Oh yeah, the green one.
She's on the Gifted TV show.
Is she? I haven't watched any Gifted. That's awesome. So she's got the powers of Magneto. but is also like a badass chick with attitude and stuff. I'm a big she, and it just makes sense. Like, why would you have the other two and not her?
Well, that and they haven't really revealed the parentage specifically of the other two.
Right.
So they have that going too.
Yeah.
But you would think they know if they had a sister. Half sister, maybe?
You'd think, maybe. I mean,
I'd buy half sister.
Yeah.
Magneto got a seat around quite a lot.
He should.
that guy was playing.
I mean,
Michael Fassbender.
He's been around.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a different last name and everything, so it would make sense that they're half sister or stepsister, whatever. Like, but yeah, she's definitely related to them, and they could so easily put that into there, and obviously be interacting with Scarlet Witch. I think it's just a no-brainer to put her in there.
And finally, my number 8 would be. I have mostly villains because MCU is stocked with heroes.
So true.
I have Omega Red.
Ooh, good.
Number 8. I love Omega Red. I loved him when I first seen him in the comics, in the TV show. I love his accent. I love, his look. We had Whiplash. It was a sorry excuse in Iron Man number 2, but Omega Red could justify that. When he shows up, he absorbs energy, so he could battle the Avengers. And if they have do a mission, in Russia or something, man, he could just show up and I think he'll be a hell of a character. Yeah, that's why I picked Omega Red.
Not to mention he's squared off against some of the strongest people in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
So, he'd be a pretty major villain to get in there. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know who could portray him. I didn't think that hard of what actor could be him, but man, he just looks really cool and on screen. I think they could make it work. If
Just
they made
Dolph Lundgren would be fun.
There you go.
Sylvester Stallone.
No, we don't need no.
I must break you.
All right, now we're up to number 7. All right,
did I do my number 8?
Yeah, it was pushed back. You had Kitty Pryde.
I didn't have Kitty Pryde.
No. Okay. What do you got, Chris?
You got Deadpool.
No.
Just go ahead and say it, Chris. Who'd you have?
Namor. So I'm sure it was his is higher, so mine was Namor.
That's pass. That's a pass.
I know. That's why I wanted to say it. I was like, hey, I didn't go.
You had Namor at number 8? Okay. Wow.
I had Namor number 8. Because to a lot of people, my number 7 is actually a storyline, but it's in the same vein of the characters as well.
All right, since Namor got pushed up, Christopher, who do you have at number 7?
My number 7 is a storyline, X-Men versus Avengers. I think we've all wanted to see this for a long time.
That's going to happen. That's definitely going to happen.
I want this to happen, and that's also because we want the characters and we want all that. Instead of breaking the rules a little bit,
and have 3 kids by the time we get it.
Yeah.
I will probably be married by that time. But I wanted this for a long time. I love the comics. I'm somebody who adores this, and I have to put this as my storyline and my character as well because there's so many characters. You could bring the original cast, or you could bring a new cast. For the X-Men, I just think it's characters that should be deeped into this, and I want to see this happen.
Hell yeah. No, that's a good choice for number 7. Right.
And if Captain America dies, I riot.
and don't worry, Caleb, he broke the rules twice there.
Yeah, he'll probably be dead before that, but okay, let's go to Jeff.
Hey!
Jeff.
I like Captain America. I'm sorry.
We're at number 7?
Number 7.
Yep.
Okay. My number 7, I think, would be really good politically for the Marvel Universe. Beast.
Ooh.
New Beast.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
Is that on anyone else's?
Yeah,
No.
go ahead. Yeah, no.
All right, cool.
Wow.
No, I think that he would be a really good. Like again, with I think that there's the ways that the X-Men can have a positive impact on the MCU is bringing this positivity, especially when you have an event like Thanos happening to the Earth, where these guys are just like, okay, well, we've been dealing with crap our entire lives. You know, we're a group of people who help people get out of, you know, escape prejudice. So I feel like him being a positive side on the government would be a huge change, because the Avengers have always been like at battle and at war of what they can and can't do, and the X-Men have always been like, okay, but we're just gonna do what we always do. We're gonna do what's right, and we're gonna, you know, I think that Beast could have that positive voice in the government, like in whatever position that he has. I think that he would again bring more positivity to the MCU, which is what it needs right now.
Yeah, and he was one of the original Avengers from the mutants. You know, after Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, Beast, if I remember correctly, him and Angel were pretty much Avengers before anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and again, his
awesome.
level of intellect would be really good with the team as well.
Absolutely.
That is true. All right, let's go to
You wouldn't even have
Thomas.
to recast too. You get Kelsey Grammer, and then you're set.
As the voice. Yeah, you could just play the voice.
It'd be fun to see
Yeah.
Beast and Tony Stark together. You know. Yeah.
Oh heck yeah.
They'd tell us. My number 7.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So we've seen both of these before as kind of an introduction. I would love to see a full-fledged like movie of Cable and the X-Force.
Ooh. Pass.
All right.
I have that
pass
too.
Cable. All right, Cable is we're passing on Cable.
I have X-Force, but would that still be a pass or what?
Yeah, let's pass.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
kind of like
All right,
X-Force
let's go.
Cable. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That's actually
Let's
my
go to
number
Massachusetts.
6, actually.
Massachusetts.
All right. Cool. My number 7. I'm actually pulling an audible and switching this person out. My is Philip Masters, also known as the Puppet Master.
Puppet Master.
He
Interesting.
barely missed my list.
Alicia
I almost put him
Masters,
on.
father, who's of course Ben Grimm's wife. He's one of the like more menacing Fantastic Four villains. He's like a master inventor, tinkerer. He controls people's minds. He's so freaking fun. Like he'd be a lot of fun. They could do so many interesting things. I just want to see him mind control the Hulk.
Oh, who hasn't these days?
All right. Let's go to
Fair
Malcolm.
point.
My number 7 is where I have Kitty Pryde.
Okay.
We had Kitty Pryde at number 9 twice. We had one at number 8, I believe, was Shadowcat. Anybody else have Kitty Pryde higher?
No. I'm understanding. Everybody's loving Kitty Pryde on this list.
All right. Well, so now we have, I believe, 3 or 4 people with Kitty Pryde. So yeah, number 7 is a good place if nobody has her higher.
Thomas,
Yeah,
Malcolm,
I can talk
Caleb.
about someone there.
Yeah, I had
So
All right.
for me, Kitty Pryde is one that makes a lot of sense because the recent comic book one has her paired up with Star-Lord. So, I mean, she's one that you can bring in and it would make a little bit of sense because they can pair her up with Star-Lord for missions, and whether or not they put it into a Guardians movie, I don't know. But it's just, she's one of the ones that, I liked Ellen Page's portrayal of Kitty Pryde perfectly. So, I mean, whether they keep the castings of the X-Men they bring over or change them, we don't quite know. I know not at least one of them will be changed, but that's for obvious reasons. But yeah,
All right. Who else had Kitty Pryde?
I did.
I had Kitty Pryde as well, and I almost, in parentheses, put her as Ninja Kitty Pryde.
Yes.
There is a fantastic storyline where she's mascot to Wolverine for years and years and years, and he trains her in the ninja ways. And in the current continuity of Marvel, she's a full-blown ninja. She kicks ass.
Mm-hmm.
She took on Lady Viper with the green hair, and if I'm saying her name wrong, maybe. But yeah. And it was just an amazing issue. I would love to see Shadowcat and the new Wolverine and Ninja Kitty Pryde. I just think that would play so well on the big screen.
Yes. And hopefully you had Kitty Pryde also, right?
Yes, I did. I think I think Ellen Page was really good casting, but I don't think they ever really utilized her performance. She's barely in those movies, and
right.
They replaced her with Wolverine in the Days of Future Past storyline, which if they do decide to do that, they probably never will in the MCU, but if they decide to do that, I would like one with her and her original role in the Days of Future Past storyline. I think her powers are super cool. And if they go that Avalanche storyline, which I know they never would, but if they do that, I think that'd be some interesting drama.
Also, we need some Lockheed in the MCU.
Awesome,
What?
awesome. So,
Lockheed, her dragon.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lockheed, yeah. How can you explain it? But that would be awesome.
Yeah.
For my number 7,
if it's in Guardians of the Galaxy, it would make sense.
Yeah, right.
For my number 7, I picked a location similar to where Christopher Day picked the comic. I kind of cheated. I picked the Savage Land.
Yeah.
Savage Land
So
is my number 7.
Then too. Then.
Yeah, you got Kazar, you got Soren, the green mutant dinosaur dude that sucks energy and hypnotizes people. And there's so many other, just to see Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, the rest of them fighting dinosaurs and ape-mans and all that stuff in the Savage Land.
That'd be cool, man. Put Tiki Watata, whatever his name is, on a
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
God, that was terrible. I'm sorry, that was terrible pronunciation.
But
That sounds like a song in The Lion King. Tiki Watata.
My bad.
yeah. Yeah, that's why I picked the Savage Land, because I think that'd be a cool location for a movie. If they ever did Avengers, like if they have so much money to burn, if they were just gonna throw out 5 movies a year and they were just like, oh, we're gonna make the Quinjet crash in the Savage Land, and then they'll meet some mutant bad guys to fight, and so I thought that would be pretty cool. So that's my number 7.
Put that in Avengers versus X-Men.
Nah, that'll be around the globe.
The Blackbird and the Quinjet both crash at the same time.
Yeah.
We're almost halfway through. Number 6. This is where it gets to the nitty gritty. All right. Let's go to Malcolm. Who do you have as number 6?
Number 6 is where I put Cable.
Oh, does that count since it's X-Force?
Yep. Was yours higher?
Yeah. Yeah, mine's number 5.
You never did my number 7.
What is it?
Boatman, what's your 7?
Oh yeah, Magneto.
Oh,
yeah, mine's number
Oh,
yes.
I never said it,
Oh, okay.
gotcha.
So many
all right,
passes.
All right, so you had Cable as number 6, or excuse me, number 6. That is going to be wait, you have him at number 5?
Yeah, that's my 5.
And then Thomas had Cable and X-Force also, right?
At
Yep.
7, yeah.
7, 6, 5. Oh, 6 is in the middle. I guess you guys could talk about Cable.
Who wants to go first, Malcolm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go first. I mean,
Okay.
Cable was one of the ones that was recently brought into the movies, and I think Josh Walton was perfect casting. But I mean, just with Kitty Pryde, I do kind of feel they're probably going to recast them all when they bring them out. If they put them into movies, the MCU, because a lot of people it's going to confuse continuity if they keep the same actors. I mean,
I would hate that though.
That's my view on it anyway. But I mean, it's one of the Cable's one of the ones that they can do a lot of stuff with, and it's just one of those ones that he's interesting.
All right, Boltman, Christopher Day, you had Cable also, right?
Chris Day at the X-Force.
All right, he's frozen
My
up.
turn?
Thomas.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go for it. Oh, okay. Well, I'll jump in then real quick. So what I was just saying is I really like the idea that Disney has suggested that they might, under the right circumstances, be okay with a rated R superhero movie as long as it was marketed accordingly to the correct audience. I would love to see Cable with a new team of X-Force kids, and he's training them to be soldiers, and it's a rated R movie, and they're rocking, they're action, they're killing bad guys as need be. I would love to see a Expendables superhero film, and I think Cable and X-Force is the best way to do that.
Hell yeah, that's true. All right, Christopher Day.
All right, so pitch this, okay? If you guys were in, like, we want to make X-Force, which is the most graphic team in the history of superheroes, happen. Now, I've wanted this to happen for a very long time. Who is the guy to do that? Well, for me, I think it actually possibly could be out of three guys. Edgar Wright and Drew Goddard. Now, out of the realistic ones, probably Drew Goddard. But for me, if you want to do the X-Force, if you want to make a ton of shitload of money like Marvel does, you have to bring some of the key members. So Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. The same girl who played Domino, I don't know her name.
Zazie B.
All right, thank you. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine one last time to come out in the costume and come into as Wolverine. Cable, I'm going to shock a lot of people. I love Josh Brolin as Cable, but I'm going Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang.
No, that
Stephen Lang.
Kevin Nash.
That would be good too. And then Cyclops. This is my wet fantasy dream. I'm sorry we're going X-rated again, but I have to say Margot Robbie. I know she's in DC. As Cyclops.
Oh, Psylocke.
Yes,
as Psylocke.
I was like, Cyclops, what? Okay.
Yeah, female Cyclops, man. No, that's Cyclops.
As much as I appreciate you wanting to keep some of that casting, I don't think it's actually going to happen.
It's never going to happen, but that's just like your wet fantasy dream. Yeah.
No, I hear you. I just think that there's so many people that are out there that could easily pull off these roles, especially the roles that are getting a little older.
I mean,
and not saying that the main Avengers cast isn't old as it is, because they are.
Yeah. See, for me, here's the thing with me. I actually, and this is coming into because this is in my top two with Wolverine. I'm not spoiling anything. I have this tremendous actor by the name of Chris Day who would be perfect to play Wolverine. Like he has the beard. He can grow the hair out. But that being said, that's just my casting, and that's how I feel. But that's my number 5. My number 6 we'll talk about in a second.
All right, Narcissist just walked in the building. All right, Boatman.
Number 6. Yeah.
Yep.
Who I got at number 6?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Bishop.
Oh.
Yep. Sure.
All right, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, I think, one of the big issues in putting the X-Men in the MCU is, okay, how are we going to fit them in there? Because, so many, and how do you put a whole team in there? And I think you can kind of do it where, he comes back from the future, and I think that's a good way. Maybe he's looking for the X-Men. I don't know. I think that might be a good way to kind of introduce the X-Men to everybody. I don't know. Maybe that's stupid.
Oh, Bishop as a gateway? No, that's pretty interesting.
I think that'd be actually kind of cool idea. So he'd come back like before they formed, or like as they're just forming then?
I don't really know. He would just kind of come back, maybe be looking for the X-Men, the Avengers. At least they don't have any idea who they are, and then maybe that could be kind of them having to come out of the shadows or something like that.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
Bishop could reveal there are
That'd
mutants
be really
living
cool.
amongst you and you don't know it yet. And they're like,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
You know what I mean? And when you find out about mutants, you're going to persecute and murder them. So he's kind of there to prevent that or something. Maybe something along those lines.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Heck yeah. That'd be cool.
All right, let's go to Mashed Potatoes. Who you have number 6?
My number 6 is a guy that probably most people don't know too well, and he's definitely not on anybody's list. He's goes back kind of a ways. He's Calvin Montgomery Rankin, also known as Mimic.
Mimic. Oh, okay.
Guy who he absorbs the powers around him, kind of like Rogue, except it's not through touch; it's through proximity, and he permanently has the powers of the original 5 X-Men. So he's got Angel's Wings, Beast's Strength, Cyclops' lasers, Jean Grey's powers, and who the fuck else? Iceman. There you go. Sorry, I lost track of where I was. Yeah. So you can control ice and that stuff too. So like he is crazy OP. He's super cool, and he absorbs the powers of like whoever he's around. So anybody who comes to try to fight him is just going to make him stronger. And I think that would be. I mean, you could put him in either camp, but I mean, he started out as a member and then became a villain. So yeah, he'd just be so cool, and I'd love to see him in the MCU squaring off against anybody.
Especially when he fights the Hulk.
Yeah,
I remember that he
everybody fighting the Hulk. That's all I want.
Because he only had 5 powers, and he was a big staple of the original Exiles comics. That's where I remember him from.
Yeah,
but yeah, he only had 5 powers at a time. So if he had to gain a new one, he had to lose power. But yeah, that's interesting. So I believe the last one. Well, before the last one, we have Malcolm, right? Number 6.
I've done my 6. That was Cable. Chris hasn't done his 6 yet.
Me either.
Oh, Jeff.
I didn't do my 6 because mine's 5, and we tied that.
Yep.
So I go ahead.
Seemed like no, I go because Jeff seemed like he jumped up. Hopefully, Jeff could make it back in. Number 6.
Okay. So you want me to go ahead and do my 6?
And number 6.
My number 6.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Let Haven go. Haven is doing his number 6.
Number 6, I repeat for the 3rd fucking time. I have Juggernaut. I've seen him in Deadpool 2, but I would love to see the X-Men fight him. Maybe since his power base is magic, maybe Doctor Strange is in the movie. You know, Spider-Man. You know, Thor. You know, any of those guys teaming up. Of course, the Hulk. You would love to see the Hulk fighting somebody super tough. I think the Juggernaut would be a badass villain for the Avengers. And, you know, obviously, if Scarlet Witch is still around, I just think it's potential, you know, for Juggernaut to face the Avengers. So I have him as number 6. Because I love that dude. He's my favorite, one of my favorite villains of all time. I just love Juggernaut.
Heck.
So nobody else has him on their list?
No.
All right. Christopher Day, who do you have as number 6?
First off, I want to apologize for interrupting you 2 times, but that was an amazing moment. My number 6, I'm sure this is on a lot of people's list, Gambit.
Yep.
Pass. Yeah, that's way higher.
Okay.
6.
Yep, he is my number 6.
All right.
Yes. Now we're getting to the gritty. We're getting to the nitty and the gritty.
All right. Let's go to number 5. Let's go to...
Yeah, Thomas still is.
Yep.
Well, yeah, Cable. Oh, okay. Well, who you have
Cable's
as number
I have
6?
Cable for 7.
Yeah.
My number 6, actually very interesting that it's almost the same character as Caleb's, but not quite. My number 6, she was referenced in Deadpool 2, but we've never seen her in the movies. I want to see Hope Summers. Hope Summers is the mutant messiah. She will bring about the second coming of the mutant, revitalization in the world. She can absorb the superpowers of anyone in her close proximity. So if she's standing around the X-Men, she has 6 powers going at the same time. It would just be insane to watch her solo the Avengers, just because they underestimate her. You know what I mean? Then later they'd catch up. But they underestimate the little redhead who suddenly has 6 X-Men powers and just knock them on their ass. Hope Summers is awesome. Trained by Cable in the future. Great character. I would love to see her.
Yeah, hell yeah. She is badass. Red hair, too. It'll be hard to find her. Well, not really hard, but it'll be a good casting choice, who they ever pick to play her. But she is a badass character. Yep. All right, we are halfway through the
girl
list.
With big eyes.
now the top 5. At number 5, Christopher Day. Who do you have?
I said mine was X-Force.
Oh, yep. So his is already done.
Mine's already done. I'm just waiting for 4.
All right, let's go to Boatman. Caleb?
Boatman. Uh-oh.
Caleb's
frozen.
He looks frozen on my end, so.
Yeah, he's frozen. Maybe we'll jump back in. Malcolm, who do you have as number 5?
My number 5 is someone that we've never seen in the movies, no matter what people want to say. And this is one that will probably be a good one to replace Thanos once the Infinity Arc. But that's my number 5 is Galactus.
I have that pass. I do too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound so douchey. That's way up higher on mine.
Okay. All right. Let's go to mashed potatoes. Who do you have number 5?
Number 5. I'm finally getting around to a member of the Fantastic Four. You know him, you love him. He is the Human Torch, Johnny Storm.
Pass.
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 Wow.
Dang.
Human Torch. 2 people have him higher. Holy crap. All right. Let's go to Thomas.
My number 5 is a newly cast Wolverine.
Pass.
Yeah. Wolverine. I'm higher because I had him at number 10.
I have him a little higher.
Yeah, he was.
What character?
He was 10.
Wolverine.
He's number 1 for me.
Whoa.
All right, we're gonna. All right, so
kidding. No, I'm just kidding. He's not number 1.
All right, we'll pass on Wolverine. So Boatman, who do you have number 5, brother?
I have a character that really represents a storyline that is one of my favorites, the Super Skrull.
Nice.
Pass.
Ooh.
Pass that one.
All right.
Holy shit! All right. So we're
next round. Everybody else got to pass.
It's a pass. All right. So everybody else has Super Skrull higher. So my number 5 is none other than the mutant, of course, Sabretooth. Nobody else has Sabretooth.
No.
I think Sabretooth, they never portrayed him right on film, like a good look.
They fucked it up.
Yeah, from the first film, where he was, wearing black. Sabretooth is a badass. Even Wolverine Origins, they can get him fully correct. I think Sabretooth is a badass villain, anti-hero. I could see him in somebody's movie.
Here I'm alive.
Ass. It don't matter whose movie he's in. It could be a Black Panther Part 3, and Sabretooth could be main villain. Sabretooth could fit anywhere, maybe not Iron Man, but a lot of other places. Sabretooth is a kick-ass villain, and I would love to see him utilized properly on the big screen. So I have Sabretooth as number 5. All right, we're going to go to Jeff.
Okay. My original number 5 I already know is on other people's lists, so I'm going to do my number 6 since I had some issues there. Sorry. My number 6 is very unique because it's kind of not a person, but I want to see the Phoenix Force. What not necessarily Dark Gray, but the Phoenix Force, because it doesn't necessarily have to be an X-Wing, or it doesn't have to be a Fantastic Four thing. It is a universal entity. Yep. And if they decide to take over multiple members of the X-Men like they did, or multiple members of just the MCU in general, I think the Phoenix Force would be something really cool, and it would be a cool way to bring in someone like the Silver Surfer and a lot of these other deep space giant, like kind of almost religious kind of things, or even galactic and stuff like that. But I mean, I would just like to see Phoenix Force be this possessive space entity to take over these people. Like, it would be cool. I think it would be awesome.
That'd be so awesome.
Hell yeah. You have that at number 6?
That was my number 6. My number 5 is Magneto.
Magneto? Oh, we got 5. I think 5 people have Magneto, so that's bumped higher.
I love how I'm the only one that doesn't have Magneto.
No, I don't have him either. I had Polaris.
Okay. Well, I have a couple big ones. Obviously, right. I'm just saying Wolverine's not my number 1. I was fooling you guys. He's my number 2. So
is Magneto higher, or can we talk about him?
All right. Well, we're gonna go to number 4.
Well, wait. Does anybody have Magneto higher than 5?
5.
I have Magneto higher than 5 at number 4.
Oh,
Malcolm?
You have him there? Okay, so never mind. All right, then we move on to 4.
All right, yeah. So number 4, Malcolm, who do you have?
My number 4 was a pass from earlier. I've got Silver Surfer here.
Oh, I have him also
higher. Yeah.
Wait,
yeah, mine's still higher than that.
Oh,
still higher?
I really don't.
How many people have Silver Surfer on their list?
I did. I had him at 10.
I do. I had him at 10 as well.
2 10s, 2 4s, and 2 hires. Holy shit. Silver Surfer is we're gonna have to pump. Yeah, he's a little higher than 4 for me in Boatman.
I do want to hear what you guys would cast. Who would you cast? Because that's one that's been on my mind a little bit.
Casting.
All right, so Malcolm has Silver Surfer. All right, let's go to Thomas. Who do you have as number 4?
My number 4 is Gambit.
Oh, I was on there as well. That was my number 6.
Right. He's the sign of the times. I don't think he's remotely interesting.
He's still higher on mine.
Wow.
Let's find a Bayou gambler. He throws throwing cards. I mean, like, the guy could be throwing something sharp, at least something playing card.
It's got to be perfectly balanced. You can't be just throwing.
Yeah, because throw knives, throw unbalanced knives.
It's true.
Like Longshot. Let's talk to Longshot.
Right?
Is Longshot on anyone's list?
So no one else has him, I guess, huh? Except
I have him higher.
Yeah,
I have Gambit. I have Gambit at 6.
I have him way higher.
All right, so we're passing. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Who hasn't said their number 4 yet?
I haven't.
All right.
I have not.
So, Chris, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is actually my favorite Marvel villain of all time, Doctor Doom.
That is my
pass.
Pass.
Still passing that one. Okay.
Let's go to all 2. I'm kidding.
All right, then.
My number 4 as well.
Who else had Gambit on the list? Anybody else?
I do. Number 6.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
I had Gambit much higher.
Chris and Caleb both had Gambit.
oh shit.
And my
you
number
fall.
4 was Doctor Doom, and a lot of people said pass.
No.
It was my
Let's
all-time
pass
favorite
on
Marvel
that.
villain.
We're talking about Gambit. Whoever had Gambit,
I do.
2 people had him close to number 4. I guess we're gonna
And I
talk
have him
about
higher.
Yeah, Caleb had him higher.
Shit. Well,
He was
Thomas
mine
already
at
talked. It's not nobody's turn. We didn't call your name, bro. So whoever had Gambit, well, Thomas talked about Gambit, so whoever else had Gambit could talk about him. I understand that Caleb had him higher. I didn't notice that earlier. Thomas already talked about him, so whoever else had Gambit, feel free to talk about why you want him to you.
Okay.
Yeah, Gambit was never really
anybody?
done right. Gambit was really not done right in the one movie that he was in. He was in one scene of the movie. You know, I guess you could say he's a product of the '90s or the late '80s or whenever it was he was created. But I don't know. He's mysterious. He's quick. He's fast. He's a ladies' man. All these fun things that are kind of
that's what we need in 2018 is more ladies' men.
We need someone who's
What if
suave and I don't know. But no, I thought it was cool. I love the staff. I love the powers. I think Gambit's a great character. He's one of my favorite. He's my email address, man. I love the guy.
Gambit of 2018 would be like polynormous. He'd be all for girls.
So besides Caleb, who had him higher, who else had Gambit?
I had him higher.
I did as well.
You had him. You guys both had him higher.
I had him at 6.
I had
Well,
him
so
higher.
it's perfectly time to talk about him then. So Christopher Day, why you want Gambit in the MCU?
I've always wanted Gambit. I always loved the character. X-Men Origins Wolverine fucked him up so bad. I'm sorry, but that was bad. And I'm just saying this because I love the dude, but put Channing Tatum as Gambit. The dude's already been through so much. I think he'd be a good Gambit.
Can he do the accent?
Awesome. Hey,
He can't do any accent. He can't do any
Caleb
accent.
Bowman, you had Gambit higher. How much higher? Because he's number 4, and you know.
I got him at 2.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, two other people already had him on his list. We're gonna drop him to 4. So, why do you want Gambit in the MCU?
Yeah, I think, you know, this is a character that needs justice because he was not done right in Wolverine. I think this is, you know, a character. He's very charming. I think he fits in very well with the rest of the heroes in the MCU. I think Gambit can be done very well. I like Gambit a lot.
All right, awesome. All right.
He doesn't
So,
at all.
the people that didn't have Gambit, I believe, was Jeff. Who do you have as number 4?
My number 4 was Doctor Doom as well.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
pass.
that was mine as well.
Anybody else have him higher?
I've got.
I have him at number. I have 4. My bad.
Wait, what?
Two.
Were we talking about?
Dr.
All
Doom.
Dr.
right.
Doom?
How many people have Dr. Doom on their list?
I
I do.
have him very high.
I have him at number 4.
Oh, all right, everybody has him. All right, we're gonna have to
I
pass
have
on
him
that. We're gonna have to pass on that one then. So, Malcolm, who do you have as number 4?
I'm pretty sure I said mine was Silver Surfer.
Yep, we talked about.
Ooh.
Or no, somebody's got him higher. So it's
Yeah.
fast. So it's to me.
Yep.
All right. This is one that's exclusively for me. Because I love this character, and it would go very well with the X-Force rated R thing that Thomas was talking about. My pick is Marrow from the X-Men and also X-Force. She's like super cool. She pulls her bones out of her body and sharpens them into weapons.
Shit.
At great
And-
pain.
At great pain, sharpens them into weapons, and then pulls them out when it's useful and fights with them, and they slowly regenerate. But yeah, she's so cool, and like it's gory and awesome. Like obviously it's like stabbing and slicing implements is what she uses. She's so violent, and like she's got a short temper, and yeah, she's just freaking awesome. And also she has worked in SHIELD alongside Agents of SHIELD, so she could, you know, be snuck in there, and it would be pretty dang awesome.
All right. So, if I'm not mistaken, I have my number 4 is one that we all seen so many times, but I love this guy. He has one of the greatest villain backstories, and it builds. I have Magneto as number 4.
Mm-hmm.
I know
A lot of people had
other
that.
people. Does anybody have him higher?
Who?
Magneto.
Magneto.
Yeah, I don't have him higher.
All right.
I know you mentioned before, so I think the three of us had Magneto on the list. I will go first.
Yeah, I have on the list.
Yeah, I've got him on my list.
All right. So we had one of the most powerful mutants on the planet. He's got a great philosophy. He's got a great backstory. This guy's sympathetic, and he's one of the guys that sometimes the stuff he does can't be justified, but if you see his view, he is just one of the most complex characters in the Marvel Universe. As a villain, as an anti-hero, Magneto will be one of the greatest forces to be seen in the MCU. I think it will be amazing. I don't know if they'll retcon the Scarlet Witch thing, but just seeing Tony Stark trying to figure out what to do with this person, Vision, if they bring him back, I just think Magneto is an awesome villain that always works well on the big screen. So I have him as number 4. Malcolm, what number did you have him as?
I had him at 9.
9. Okay, let's talk about Magneto.
Yeah. So I mean, the reason I put Magneto at 9 is because we've already seen him done well, but I put on because I'd love to see him in the MCU for the reason that of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver being there now, and he would make a lot of perfect sense to bring in. And I mean, and this is something I've actually talked about with people, but it's one of those things like now that they've brought in the X-Men, they don't have to retcon about the Scarlet Witch and thing about them being experimented, because they could say that for all we know that they already had their powers, and the experiments that they were going through unlocked their powers faster than what they would have did if they were naturally unlocked. So I mean, they may not have to retcon anything, but it just makes a lot of sense.
I like that idea, that way of doing it.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, who else had Magneto?
I did.
Boatman. What number?
I had him at 7.
All right. Talk about
I would have had. I would have had him a little higher if he hadn't already been done perfectly twice. I think Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender did him very well. But, I think to kind of echo what Malcolm said, I think that's a good way to kind of introduce the X-Men is, because we've got Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in there already, we've kind of bridged the gap between the MCU and the X-Men by having Magneto in there. And I think just be an epic villain with, kind of to echo what you said, Haven, with just the tragic backstory and just one of the best villains in the MCU.
Hell yeah. Anybody else have Magneto on the list?
Yeah, I had Magneto at number 5.
Okay. Well, there you go, brother.
So I do like the idea of kind of mutants just kind of happening over time. I think that a big trigger for how mutant kind would start is if people all over the world were trying to basically come up with their answer to, let's face it, Captain America is probably going to die. So you lose Captain America, now the whole world, it's kind of like an arms race for trying to create a superhuman. And within that, creating some kind of ripple effect of mutants, like the genomes in people's DNA just starting to awaken and starting to create all these mutants. I think Magneto, overall, Magneto is, like we'd said, one of the most powerful mutants in the X-Men history. But I also feel like his philosophy would it would bring more humanity to the MCU villains, which we don't see a lot of. It's always just like, I'm evil, I'm bad, I'm going to do something bad. And Magneto always has like a really good reason for him doing it, to everyone else is crazy. So I think that you can't tell X-Men or a mutant story without involving Magneto in any way.
That's true. And he's not going to be a one and done villain in the Marvel Universe, in the MCU. No. He's going to have the Loki treatment. Yeah. And, if I had to cast him, I'll probably pick up from Twilight fame, Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I think he could.
What?
I think
No,
if he went up-
honestly, I can agree with that casting. I can absolutely. That guy's done a lot of acting.
yeah, drama.
You guys should watch Good Time. He's fantastic in Good Time.
I haven't seen Good Time yet, so maybe that.
I have that. It's an amazing movie. It's one of my favorite movies of last year.
Yeah, if he buffs up, man, he could be the, he could be a surprising hit for
If we were to cast somebody that young, we definitely couldn't say that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were his kids. That's for sure.
He's
Yeah.
weird though. He doesn't do a lot of like blockbusters anymore. He mainly focuses on the indies now.
That's a different story. Anyway, we are down to top three.
One more
skip
thing
my number
about
4.
one more thing about Magneto though. You could tie him into the Savage Land storyline because for a while he was his headquarters were located there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, all right, Boatman, we skipped your number 4.
Yeah, mine was Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four.
Pass. Pass. Huge
Still
pass.
higher on people's lists.
Still,
Yes.
apparently,
Dang.
jeepers.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And also, I didn't know if you knew this, Haven, because we were talking. My 4 was Doctor Doom, and we passed that. So,
Yep.
Just so you know.
Yeah. No. That's what we passed. So, right now we have 3 numbers left. A lot of these guys were bumped up. So it's gonna be interesting because right now it's holy shit, yeah, we're down to three left. So
Yep.
This is gonna be crazy. All right, let's go to Malcolm first. Malcolm, who do you have number 3?
My number 3 is Human Torch.
Pass.
Okay.
What? Human Torch is
What?
not high enough
How?
for this. There's no pass. All right, you can talk about Human Torch. I doubt anybody else. Anybody else has Human Torch on the list?
I have the
Well,
whole
that's the
team
Fantastic
on my
Four.
list.
Yeah. Fantastic Four at 3.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all right. So Fantastic Four. Anybody else has Fantastic Four? All right. So I guess we're passing on. All right, we're passing on that. Okay, so Thomas, number 3.
Yeah, I kind of did them as a team, sort of. I didn't know if I was supposed to do that. My number 3 is the Fantastic Four.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. So who else has Fantastic Four on the list?
I do too. It's my top. It's in my top 2. That's all I'll say.
I had them separately. I had a couple of them.
Yeah,
So-
I put a couple of them separately.
Jeff, you have Fantastic Four?
Is my number 3? Oh no, I had Mr. Fantastic as number 9.
All right, so that's kind of roped in. Boatman?
Yeah, I had Fantastic Four at number 4.
So
But are you
that's-
asking my number 3, or what are you asking?
Yeah, we're asking. Well, if you didn't do Fantastic Four, that
Well-
got bumped up.
My number
What do you-
3 is also a member of the
I'm gonna give
Fantastic
away
Four,
with
so why don't we just all talk about Fantastic Four real quick?
Yeah, why don't we just knock it all out?
All right, let's go to. So we're gonna go back to Malcolm, number 3. Everybody's gonna unanimously agree. Fantastic Four.
Yep.
One person, the whole team. That's your guys' rights. Malcolm, take it away.
Yeah. So like Fantastic Four as a whole is we need to see them done right. Like they were the first movies. They were. I actually did like the first 2 movies because their characterizations were. I mean, they weren't the best, but they were good. They were better than the 2015 version. You've got to give me
Oh,
that.
God.
I'll give you that.
Oh, God.
I can give you that.
So, I mean, as a movie, I know there was someone that was rumored to play Human Torch in something that they did bring. I can't remember who it is now, but Human Torch is one of the ones that it's an interesting one because I can't think of who they'll get to play him because obviously they can't get Chris Evans to play him anymore because. Well, I mean, they could. I don't know.
Come on, he can pull double duty.
But I mean, he's one of the ones that it's bringing more people that can get good humor because we don't know who's going to be left after Infinity War and what state's going to be. So we're going to need some sort of new, sort of quick-witted characters in there. And yeah, like as a team, they need to be done right. I mean, and MCU will do them right.
All right. So Malcolm had him at number 4. Jeff, you said you had somebody from the Fantastic Four on your list at number. Oh,
he had Mr. Fantastic at 9.
Yes.
All right. So let's go to Jeff. Why Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah, I have a very simple reason for wanting him to be a part of it, and I think it's because, as the practical side of things, we needed the smartest people on the planet to get together so that the world can continue on after what Thanos has done to the planet. Or the universe, really. But I just think that getting the best and the smartest people in the same room, working together under one roof, how are we going to make this new world work? I would say he'd be one of the top choices.
That's true. All right, let's go to Mashed Potatoes. You had Human Torch at what number? Mashed Potatoes?
Sorry, my headphones are like shorting out. I can't hear for a second.
You had Human Torch, correct?
I can hear.
You had Human Torch?
Are you still waiting on me? Oh, great.
Yep.
All right. Sorry about that. My headphones are shorting out. All right. So I didn't have them as a group, but I had the Human Torch at number 5. Because Johnny Storm's one of my favorites. He's just so much fun. Like, you know, also his rapport and like kind of I guess friendly rivalry with Spider-Man is one of like my favorite friendships in the Marvel universe. They constantly go back and forth, like just trying to one up each other. It's so much fun. So I had Human Torch at number 5, and then I had the Thing at number 3 for my number 3, Ben Grimm. Just because he's the heart of the Fantastic Four. He's the human element, I guess. He's, you know, big and slow and dumb, but he's also like super caring and sensitive, and he's a big rock monster. He's awesome. And again, he interacts his interactions with other Marvel characters is always a lot of fun. And again, so he's got connections with the Guardians of the Galaxy and with the Avengers, I believe the West Coast Avengers, but still, it's the Avengers. It counts. You know, again, he would fit in pretty easily. I didn't have any of the other ones, so go ahead and move on.
That's true. All right, let's go to Bowman. Did you have any other Fantastic Four on your list?
Yeah, I had at number 3, I had Reed Richards or the Fantastic Four, and that's because I think there are 2 ways you can kind of integrate the Fantastic Four in there. You can either do it kind of post-Infinity War, have it take place, you know, post-Infinity War, and if that's the case, then I only want at least at first Reed Richards to show up, and before he's Mr. Fantastic, and just have him show up, and maybe, you know, when we see the Fantastic Four, we can even skip the origin and maybe have the origin happen maybe like in a flashback or something, because let's face it, we've seen the origin so many times. If we don't do that, then I want the movie to take place in like the 60s, and I want like, you know, like kind of a period piece, and I want the Fantastic Four there. And the reason, well, how do you explain that the Fantastic Four were there if nobody's talked about them? Well, you do that is they go to the negative zone, and you have that there, and maybe like they were in that shit, you know, that they sent off that gave them their powers. They go off and they're kind of stuck in the negative zone. I don't know.
Oh, yes, thank you for bringing that up, because like that's another reason I wanted Human Torch in there, like the fact that he was trapped in the negative zone and came back so different, and it's freaking awesome. But yeah, the negative zone is so great, and I think they could incorporate the Fantastic Four really easily, especially since the, you know, Avengers Tower now looks very much like the Baxter Building.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
All right, let's
it
go.
Really does.
If I'm not mistaken, he didn't go yet. You had
I did not. I did not go. Would you like me to go?
I called on Thomas.
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I love them. Fun. They're kind of cheesy, but they bring a little bit of the lighter superhero element to the MCU that I think they could. We definitely don't need to see an origin for the third time. That would be a disaster. I almost had it written down as from a parallel Earth. I could see the idea when the Avengers are in their direst need, a portal opens up and Reed and the others come through and say, our universe was destroyed by this threat. We're going to help you to prevent this threat. Boom, they're already started. They're established. They're badass.
Whoa. This isn't DC.
They pair I have recently read a very recent comic book where Reed has another family in a parallel Earth and he hops around to help 616, and then he's got to go back to his family in the other parallel Earth. I mean, the Fantastic Four are crazy. That is crazy technology, and I think that would be a fun kind of element to it.
Nice. All right, Christopher Day. You had Fantastic
Actually,
Four.
I did not know if you wanted me to save this because it's actually my number one.
Well, we already talked about it, so yeah.
Okay. I've been waiting to talk about this. Okay. So, go back to a little 8-year-old Christopher Day. Sat in the theater and watched the Fantastic Four. My heart was broken because actually the Fantastic Four are my all-time favorite Marvel characters. I have loved this story since the beginning. I've loved the characters. I've loved the villains. I want a movie done right. I'm so fucking tired of these fucking failures. The 2015 film is one of the top 3 worst movies I've ever seen. It is the worst comic book film I think I've ever seen in my life. I've never been so angry. Now, how I would do it is I would find the right director to do it. Don't give Josh Trank and now that Disney, they're not going to pull fucking Fox. And who I would cast John Krasinski. I probably already fucked that name up like Tiki with Titi. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt. John Krasinski would be Mr. Fantastic. Emily Blunt would be the Invisible Woman. Zac Efron would be the Human Torch.
Whoa.
And The Rock would be the Thing.
No.
You have me with the exception of Zac Efron.
All right.
See, I think Zac Efron is perfect for the Human Torch. Now, look, has he made some really... I mean, he hasn't really done that well lately. I love Baywatch for how dumb and fucking stupid it was. But him in Baywatch, for me, signed him to be Human Torch. I think he should be Human Torch. I think John Krasinski should be Mr. Fantastic.
Agree with that full-heartedly.
I think we can all agree that he's the best pick of your Fantastic Four.
Now, The Rock... It was between John Cena and The Rock over who would be the best The Thing. I'm going with The Rock, man. I don't even know if they're going to be doing Black Adam. So, for me, I'd love to see that. And I know I already bumped up, they already bumped Doctor Doom, so I'll get to talk about my favorite Marvel villain soon and my second favorite comic book villain of all time very, very soon. But like I said, I'm a huge fan of these comics. I grew up with these comics. This is my favorite Marvel characters. It is probably my 3rd favorite superhero. Yes, because Superman and Batman, obviously. But I grew up with these characters. As a fan of these characters, just like people who are fans of Spider-Man, and with Homecoming now, I want them done right. If not, I will come meet you in the alley, Marvel, and I will beat you to shit. No, seriously though, I just want them done right.
Tell the truth, Chris. You just want The Rock as the Thing for the puns.
Yeah. Hey, Rock. Hey, Mr. Dwayne Johnson, your biggest fanboy over here. I'll let you play the Thing. I'll play Ben Grimm. We got a deal.
All right. I didn't have Fantastic Four on my list, so my number 3, I had Namor the Submariner.
You say Namor? I had him at number 8.
Nobody else had him on their list?
Well, because
he was never a Fox property.
No.
I have Namor.
Well,
I do.
His first appearance came in Fantastic Four. That's why I added him in, because they haven't used him yet. But yeah, I got Namor.
I have Namor at number 8, Haven.
Yes,
He would have been on my list.
He would have been on my list if he was a Fox character. But yeah.
Yeah. He was almost on my list, and then when I found out he wasn't, I took him off.
Yeah.
Haven, who would you want to play Namor?
I don't know who I want to play Namor. I just think that
Keanu Reeves.
I think
I want Zachary Quinto.
Community.
All right.
Holy
shit, guys! All right, I'm gonna talk about Namor. If you guys want to shut the fuck up, yeah, I have Namor at number 3 because I think that he looks so badass. Namor had the pointy ears before Spock. He was the man in the oceans. He was the first mutant. I think that the only thing that DC got right is a jump on the aquatic superhero. But Namor should have already had a film. This dude is just badass. Like, he's not a joke like how Aquaman used to be in the DC. Like, Namor is a presence and a powerhouse in the MCU. He was there with Captain America in World War II.
Yep.
That dude controls. He controls the oceans. He doesn't take shit from any mortal at all. He is a king, and he's to be treated as a king. And he doesn't play that shit, and he will smack a guy, kill a guy if he has to, because he lives by his pet. So that's why Namor is number 3 for me. I believe everybody had. I believe we already had number 3, mostly Fantastic Four, Namor. So number 2, right now, number.
I have a question because I did my number 1 was Fantastic Four, and I didn't get to do 3. Do you want me to save 3 for 1?
I don't fucking care right now, dude. You have other
I
guys
didn't
that
say my 3.
Okay,
right.
Caleb Bootman. Say your 3.
Sorry. Silver Surfer and Galactus.
Galactus is my 3.
I had Silver Surfer at 10.
Anybody else have Galactus or Silver Surfer higher?
I mean, I had both of them lower.
Yeah, I had them lower.
I had that as my number 2. So
I have Galactus as my 3 and Silver Surfer as my 10.
All right, then. So Boatman, you had that as your number 3?
Yeah, I had both of them.
All right, talk about them.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think, you kind of need both of them if you're going to have them. I don't think you can really do one without the other, so that's why I put them on one spot on the list, and I think, they haven't been done right. It was just a giant fart cloud in that one Fantastic Four movie. So, I want to see that storyline done right. I don't know how far down the line you need to do it. You need to have like 20 more Marvel movies before then. But, I think at some point I want to see that storyline done right. So that's why that's on my list.
All right. Who else had Silver Surfer / Galactus? Malcolm, you said
I had Galactus at 3 and Silver Surfer at 10.
I had both of them as well.
I believe a couple other people had them too. All right.
I had them at 10.
Malcolm and Caleb had them both at 10. So, Malcolm, if you want to go first.
Yes. So I mean, I picked them as separate, but yeah. I mean, Silver Surfer does need to be with Galactus, and it's just one of those ones like Galactus. I think should be the next major threat after Thanos. So I want to see it built up over movies. I don't want to see it as like just a big threat for the next Avengers movie that need to be built up a couple of times. I mean, whether or not it's over 20 movies again, I don't know. But I mean, Galactus is one of a major threat that needs to work. And I mean, after Thanos, it's one of those ones like, who else can you get to be Thanos? I think after Thanos, you need to sort of go back to maybe a lower tier villain, like a lesser threat, and then build back up to a major threat again. So, all
right, awesome. Mashed Potatoes, you had him at number 10 also?
I did. I had the Silver Surfer at number 10. I little bit disagree that they have to be together. I think you could. Sure, he could have. He eventually has to be in there. Obviously, Galactus does, but I think Silver Surfer could. This could be a part of his. When he was trying to break away in the storyline in like the 2000s, I think. When he did his own thing, I think he could meet up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and tool about space, interacting with the Nova Corps. And things like that. He could be doing a lot of stuff that doesn't have to do with Galactus. But yeah, he's such a cool character, and he needs to be done in the MCU because nobody else is going to do it right.
That's true. Christopher Day, you had him at number what?
I had Galactus at number 3, and I had Silver Surfer at number 10.
Okay. Talk about him, brother.
Would you like me to go ahead and talk about it then?
Yep. That's what he just said.
Okay. So, sorry. So, I'm tired. So, for me, Silver Surfer is a character I always want to see done right. I think that he's an interesting character. You can't have Galactus without Silver Surfer, but I'm kind of on Mashed Potatoes way and kind of say you should build him up. But I think you should have a Fantastic Four movie with Galactus first and then explore that into an Avengers film, because I think that would make a little more interesting for the story as well. For casting wise, I know people are going to kill me that I'm repeating this, but please just put Andy Serkis as Galactus, perfect casting, and I would put Toby Kebbell. I'll put Toby Kebbell as Silver Surfer.
Interesting choices. Thomas, did you have Silver Surfer on your list?
I did. Silver Surfer and Galactus. I mean, they're pretty symbiotic as far as intros and origins go.
What number did you have him, brother?
I actually have my number 1, but you guys went going, so I kind of let you go.
Oh shit.
That's all right. That's all right. We can talk about my number. We're going to talk about my other one next. But no, absolutely. Silver Surfer. Stan Lee has gone on record saying, we did Spider-Man. Silver Surfer is the number 1, or Silver Surfer is the number 1 hero. They've got to make a movie of him. He really wants that movie. I think the whole movie should be in space. I don't think Silver Surfer's first film should ever touch Earth.
Absolutely.
Maybe I might have mentioned that.
Agreed.
It'd be great for him to do his own solo movie, and then by the end, he frees himself of Galactus and he races to Earth to warn us. And we don't get to that until the next big Infinity movie or whatever. Yeah. Silver Surfer is amazing. He is so ungodly powerful. I really want him in space blowing shit up so that you can really feel the impact of that much power in a single person. Yeah, Silver Surfer is amazing, and he's got to be done right. I didn't think his previous movie was that bad. The movie itself might have been bad, but I thought Silver Surfer was great in that movie, The Rise of Silver Surfer. I feel like you could maybe get away with having a good actor and then have Lawrence Fishburne do the voice again, because I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. That was he was the highlight of that film.
Great.
Did you have Silver Surfer?
No.
No? Oh shit! I had Silver Surfer as my number 2. We're talking about it as number 3 right now. I think that the cosmic universe is wide open. We have right now in the Marvel universe, Star-Lord has some cosmic power, but I think that Silver Surfer as a cosmic being would be he is surely missed in the MCU. He was great in the second Fantastic Four film. I thought he looked good. I thought his board looked good. I thought his powers looked great, and I think he will be amazing in the MCU. That's why I had him as my number 2. And Caleb Boatman has number 3. So, all right. So we had 6 of us had Silver Surfer on our list. So right now at number 2, if I'm not mistaken, let's go to Mashed Potatoes. Who do you have as number 2?
I have he was a bump from Caleb, I believe. My number 2 is the most iconic, the second most iconic Fantastic Four villain, the Super Skrull.
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't think anybody else has him on the list, so talk about him. You
All
guys
right.
got it.
I mean, you could literally put the Skrulls in to any of the properties, and it would make sense. They're shape-shifting aliens. They come to Earth to infiltrate and break down our societies in secret by assuming identities. And so it's rife with possibilities in the MCU for where the Skrulls could come in. But then, of course, the Super Skrull, having all 4 abilities of the Fantastic Four and also being able to shapeshift, is like he is the Super Skrull. He's the ultimate of his people, and like, yeah, he'd be so freaking cool. Like, I don't care where you could even do like a Secret Wars kind of thing with him, and like that, I'd be so happy with that. And just like, yeah, I want to see Super Skrull fighting Captain America.
Boatman, you had him also?
Yeah, I had him at number 5. Yeah, if it would have just been the Skrulls, I would have had them at number 1. But Marvel already owns most of the Skrulls, I believe, the film rights to. It's just they don't own the rights to the Super Skrull.
Yep.
And that's still, I think, that's an important part of the Skrull narrative, so you really need that. But yeah, the Skrulls are one of my favorite storylines in whatever they show up in. I just love the Skrulls so much. I think there's so much dramatic possibilities. I think it would just be a giant what moment for everyone in the audience. I mean, you thought the end of Infinity War was shocking. Think about how it would feel to see all the characters that you've connected with just at the end of the movie, like we start to reveal, oh, these are alien monsters and they're evil. And it's just like, what? And then you kind of leave the theater questioning, well, when did it start? How long were they bad guys? And I think it would just be an amazing dramatic reaction. And
they introduced the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know how long they've been there, so.
Yeah, I didn't put them on my list because, like, the Skrulls will show up in Captain Marvel, but the Super Skrull was owned by Fox, so he's not going to show up. And he's the most famous Skrull, so it's kind of like you're gonna see the Skrulls, but it's funky. All right, let's go to Jeff. Who did you have at number 2?
Wait, Malcolm wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'll just jump on. For all we know, Marvel might have made a deal to bring in the Super Skrull to Captain Marvel, but we won't know because they did a deal to switch for Ego and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. They did because Ego was originally Fantastic Four, then they made a deal with Fox to bring him over. So they may have brought over Super Skrull secretly as well. So we'll never know. As of now, we don't know if he's in there. So
he's so awesome.
That's true. All right, let's go to Jeff. Who do you have as number 2?
Actually, my number 3 got missed over because everybody had the Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer and Galactus, and I didn't. I only had Mr. Fantastic on there just because I really didn't ever get into the Fantastic Four stories. But more power to you guys for being the best. I think it's cool. My number 3 it's really not much to talk about. It's Wolverine. I mean,
that's my number 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Wolverine is gonna have to be in these movies. Number 1, it's been one of the it has probably been number 1 comic book money generated character in the last 20 years. I mean, hands down, he's the reason why it got so popular, and he's been doing it for so long. In order for me to get my favorite Wolverine story to ever be in movies, we would also need all the Sony properties as well. I love Old Man Logan when it came out in 2008. It was one of my favorite stories that I've ever read. And I'm like a huge DC guy, but Thomas has gotten me into Marvel over the last 10 years. And that is, again, one of my favorite stories, but we would need everybody. We would need a lot of Spider-Man properties. I definitely enjoyed the older characters of some of the versions. I'd like to see what happened to some of the other characters, but Wolverine, hands down for me, is like, I just think that we need a grittier and a little bit of a darker Wolverine. And not so much a little bit of a smartass, but one with a shorter temper. I think he needs to be a little more volatile.
All right, so you have Wolverine. A lot of us have Wolverine on our list. I know some people might have him a little higher. I had him at number 10. I'll just take this opportunity to go. I had him at number 10 because we've seen him so many times. 15 films. I can't even think of how many films he was in, but he just that's why I didn't put him any higher, because we've seen him so many times. And now that the merger went through, Hugh Jackman will probably show up for the next Avengers movie. That's probably a given, because he said he'll come back if this buys them. So that's why I didn't put him any higher, because I think that's going to be a foregone conclusion that we will see Wolverine in the next Avengers film now that they have the rights to him. But that's why I didn't really put him any higher. But who else had Wolverine on their list?
I had Wolverine.
I had him at number 2.
Well, okay, well, let's go to Malcolm first. Malcolm?
Yeah, I mean, I had him at 10 for the same reason you, Haven. Like, Wolverine is bound to pop up because he's just iconic. But I mean, we've already seen at least 9 times. So, I mean, we've seen him enough. Like, but to bounce off your point, I don't think we will see him in Avengers now, because I think Hugh Jackman is done as Wolverine. I don't think he'll come back now, because I think he's done. I mean, I know he said he'd like to come back, but yeah, but there was going to, a lot of people are going to probably accuse him of going back on his word and all that. But I mean, now this is the thing. Like with Wolverine, whether or not if they bring him into the MCU, I don't know. It depends on which one they'll go. Whether they go with the version that's in the comics now, which is actually X-23 using the codename Wolverine now. So that could be an interesting way to bring him back without having to recast Logan Wolverine, but have X-23 Wolverine instead.
For sure.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. The only reason he's not on my list is because, yeah, I think he's kind of like earned a little rest. Like, let him stay away for a little while. He's been the one guy who's everywhere. We just need to be right now. I'd love to see him again, but yeah, he didn't make my list because, yeah, he's dead now. Let him rest.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Hugh Jackman said he'll definitely come back. Bowman, you had him at number 2, and Christopher Day at number 2. So Bowman,
I did not have Wolverine on my list.
No, Caleb.
You did? Oh,
no,
so
I don't have him on my list.
All right, Christopher Day, you got number 2?
Yep, number 2.
All right, speak on it, brother.
All right, so Wolverine is a fan favorite of mine. Obviously, I did a fucking short film on him, a fan film. It was terrible. But no, I mean, look, I know it's going to happen, and I'm just going to speak out this now. I want a younger one when the time is right. I think Scott Eastwood is my pick, since we're probably never going to get the imaginary Tom Hardy, which I've always never going to happen. Let's just be realistic, because now he's Venom. I think a young Scott Eastwood would be really, really good. But however, I'm going to say this because I know I do have to go soon, and I know we're going to talk about Doctor Doom soon, which I had him before. I want to see a Laura movie. I think that's going to be my tie with Wolverine. I want to see a Laura movie. I want to see an X-23 movie. And, they made some good short films on that. But for me, I think an X-23 movie would be really fucking good too. So am I allowed to say my Doctor Doom thing since I do have to go soon, or you want me to wait on that?
Give me 1 second. Let's go to Thomas. Thomas, you have Wolverine?
I had a new cast Wolverine at number 5. Hugh Jackman said he'd come back, but like, if we're ushering in a new era and Disney needs to pay back $71 billion in this merger, they need a new guy, a new face on the franchise. They need someone young and fast, and we really do need a new Wolverine. I would have said Tom Hardy as well, but it seems like that's not going to happen now that he's with Venom. So I really don't even know who I would cast. But yeah, I just feel like we need new blood. Hugh Jackman was amazing, but it's time for a new era, especially since he killed his character,
Yep.
That's true. All right, so Christopher Day, your last one was which one? Dr. Doom, you said?
Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom.
All
okay.
Right, well,
so for me, I think... Let me go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay. For me, I think Dr. Doom is my all-time favorite Marvel villain. He's my second favorite villain of all time in the comics, next to the Joker, obviously. But for me, I think Doctor Doom is a villain that I feel like he's never been treated right. And I think for me, the main reason why is they haven't got the right person, I think, to play Doctor Doom. And I know that's part of it, but part of powers. And yeah, see, I don't really know how I would approach that. And this is coming from the big Fantastic Four fan. And we're talking about my casting, I'll talk about my casting in a second. I think the biggest mistake they've made, not just the fact that he was a fucking blogger, my biggest mistake they made was putting him in The Rise of the Silver Surfer and giving him that fucking board. Because I'm sorry, I never saw that in the comics. I've read a lot of comics, never saw him once have that. I know you guys know more about comics than I do. Did he ever have a fucking board?
I do not believe so.
So it's so fucking stupid. Like
electricity powers, like in the first Fantastic
Four. I don't know. The Nip Tuck guy was all right. Toby Kebbell, unfortunately, was not good. If I had to recast and think, who would I think? And this is just coming straight out of my ass. I have two. I have Justin Throix from the show Justified. I think he would be a really good Doctor Doom. Also,
Justin Thoreau?
Yes.
That's the one.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I've already fucked up like a lot of names today, including Tiki Watata. So, my second one, I know Haven's just like, come on, dude. My second one is actually Josh Duhamel. I think Josh Duhamel would be a good one as well. And then I'm gonna go with Dylan McDermott, who was in the Road to Perdition movie, and he was in the Perks of Being a Wallflower film as the dad. I think those are my three. I almost said Walter Goggins, but he's in a Marvel movie now. So, and I don't think he'd be the best Doctor Doom. But that being said, I do have to go. I appreciate the time. It's long. I do have to go get up early, so I am going to go. But this was fun. I had a lot of fun, and I'm sure, Haven, would you let me plug for 1 second? I'm sure if he's okay with it, I will.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay. I just did an interview with Mr. Haven yesterday in my movie Jack Cross, and I'm very happy. I'm very proud of that. The movie comes out Friday, so if you guys can go check it out, please do. Also, I just would like to say thank you to everybody. I kind of became the first one of the biggest action short film stars with 18,000 views. I think it's incredible. I don't really know what to say. I kind of feel like I'm a star now. I'm kidding. No, I don't. I feel honored, and I don't really know what else to say. I know Haven was happy to talk about it with me yesterday, but it's awesome. We didn't really talk about how great it was. It's an amazing feeling, and I want to say thank you to everybody. So yeah, if you guys can go play that, it's on YouTube, so I can send you guys the link. I've been more than happy to. I might just send you guys the link as soon as I leave, and you guys can watch it a little early. So, I don't know if Haven's seen it yet. I don't know. I think he might have. I'm not sure. It means the world to me. Thank you guys so much, and this is something I'm very passionate about, and I want to be like a Tom Cruise and risk my life doing amazing stuff. So I just want to say thank you guys. I had a lot of fun tonight, and Caleb, I look forward to kicking your ass tomorrow. So
never gonna happen.
Oh, bro, I beat Haven. So no, other Caleb. I'm facing the other Caleb from Iowa tomorrow. I already beat Havens. I beat the boss, so I'm excited to beat you too.
Well, so, good luck, Adele Dazeem.
Boatman, so you don't know what you're talking about. All right.
Adele Dazeem.
Let's see. All right. I'll get out of here. We'll see you guys later.
All right. If I'm not mistaken, all right, let's go to Boatman. Who do you have as your number one dog?
My number one?
Oh, number two. Sorry.
Well, number two's already been said. Gambit.
Okay.
Yep, that was talked about. So, who do you have as number one then?
All right, my number one. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to want to talk about this guy, and we just talked about him. It is Doctor Doom.
That is my number one also. Go ahead, brother. Take it away.
Yeah. So, I think there are multiple ways you can do this. You can, put him in with the Fantastic Four. I think you can do him on his villain as your own. Or, my choice, give him his own standalone movie. Maybe that sounds crazy, but I think it could work. I think you give him his own movie, maybe put some heroes in there, but make it his story. I think maybe it's so crazy it just might work, kind of like what they're doing with the Joker movie. I don't know.
Oh, that's all you have to say? Okay, I'll go next because I had Dr. Doom as my number one also. I think a standalone movie could fit perfectly with him. Bring some other heroes in that are C-level characters.
Yeah.
Since Dr. Doom is a smart guy, maybe show a little college stuff. Maybe briefly show Reed Richards and the Thing. But you see Dr. Doom going a different route, going the magical route now that we have Doctor Strange. Maybe he's going for artifacts, learning the mystic arts. Maybe he goes to England. Maybe he fights the Black Knight. Maybe a couple other magical Marvel heroes. He beats the shit out of them. You know, now that Iron Man has a great armor, you know, since Iron Man came out, the armor looks realistic. You know, he could get armor, and maybe at the end of the movie, a post-credit scene with some heroes like, holy shit, this guy's on the map. But I think Dr. Doom is the greatest Marvel villain besides Magneto, because Magneto's always focused on mutants. I think Dr. Doom is the greatest Marvel villain that just hasn't got his dues yet. So that's why he's my number one. All right, Jeff.
I think that they should focus Dr. Victor Von Doom more so on him being a king. I think that they should have something happen in his country, Latveria, right, Caleb?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that I think that's something that they should focus on more so than just giving. I mean, I like the idea of him being like a treasure hunter. I think that would be cool. Or looking into mystic arts. I think that'd be cool. But I think that him being a leader of people should be a huge part of his character, and I think that they should focus on that. That he's not just some guy. That he is a very important person in this world. Kind of like what they did.
Do like an in. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, kind of like what they did with Wakanda, where they had the king of Wakanda at the United Nations, or like at this world peace meeting, and have him basically at the same kind of meeting, but saying something kind of controversial. Maybe he's the one with an idea of how we should handle this kind of problem, or how we should handle. It's like, look, the planet just lost half its population. I have this idea, and this is the only way it's going to work. And then have a lot of people be like, that's kind of sketchy. I mean, like, I don't know if, maybe make it a little darker, but then how him putting his foot down and being like, no, this is the only way it can work. I mean, like, he's got to be like a powerful king, and they got to show him shifting his weight. I think that would be a cool way to get him started as a character.
And I love the fact that he kind of has some diplomatic immunity a little bit, so it's harder to really get upset at him for some things.
Absolutely.
Or not upset, but to actually, the Avengers could be getting in trouble for attacking it.
Right. Yeah.
Let's go to Thomas. Who do you have? Number one, number two.
Yeah, my number two is also Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is just one of the great, powerful villains. They did kind of give him lightning powers once, and that was kind of weird. But to a degree, I want to see him have a lot of that energy. Maybe it's just from the armor. Maybe it's just of his own invention. But I'd like to see him have, be a real powerful menace. Here's some casting options. I'd like to see either maybe Mads Mikkelsen. I know he was already in Doctor Strange, but if he's behind the mask, Mads Mikkelsen, if I'm saying that last name right. God, he's great.
I like what they did with Hugo Weaving in V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You never actually see
something like that with Mads, and you could really hear his voice real clear. God, it'd be great. Or what about Liam Neeson, man? Would Liam Neeson be a good dude?
He's kind of old. He's
Liam
older.
Neeson plays intense. I want someone intelligent. It's got to be played intelligent. It can't be played insane villain. I love the idea of like showing Latvia, showing him kind of being a diplomat, all of those things. I think he really needs to be on the big screen in the right way.
Latveria.
Latvia
is a real country.
No.
All right, let's go to mashed potatoes. Who do you have? Did we say your number two, or you at
my number
one?
two? I already said. Super Scroll.
All right. So
I got a number two.
Jeff hasn't done his number two. I don't know.
No, but I meant. Okay, Malcolm, you had Dr. Doom.
He was my number two. But yeah, I mean, like everyone's pretty much said it. But I mean, I I don't know if it's still in production or what they're doing with it, but I know there was talks of doing a Doctor Doom standalone movie. I don't know what's happening with that, whether they're going to carry that on with the deal or if it's going to be scrapped. Because I think half the ones that are in production, with the exception of New Mutants and Dark Phoenix, I think half of the movies that are kind of in pre-production is potentially being scrapped, and Marvel Studios are going to go afresh, but they might keep some of them because they might like the scripts, but we don't know. But I mean, Doctor Doom's just one of those ones that like we've never really seen Latveria, so I mean that would be an interesting way to go, is like have him as the powerful king. And I mean, one storyline I'd like to see is the Doctor Doom Doctor Strange team up, in which Doctor Doom temporarily becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. So that could be a really interesting storyline to bring in with that as well.
Awesome. All right, who you were saying Jeff didn't do his number 2? Who do you have, Jeff?
I'm pretty sure, unless something happened while I was in my black hole for a little bit. But I have Storm as my number 2.
Storm. Wow.
Storm. And the biggest reason why I mentioned Storm is because of Black Panther. She would be an easy fill-in into that, let alone knowing mutant kind and getting Storm and T'Challa to meet or to kind of cross paths in some kind of battle. I think that it would be really cool to kind of see her maybe as some kind of missionary, or maybe she's a friend of that girl that he had a thing kind of for in his movie. I would like to see Storm in general. I think she's a strong female character, again, strong powers, and she definitely deserves a good place in the MCU.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We got a lot of guys here mentioned female characters. They want to see more female characters in the MCU. My top 10 list is done. Is anybody else missing something?
I haven't done my number 1, and neither has Malcolm.
Right. So Caleb, who's your number 1?
My number 1 is he's basically, if you took Doctor Doom and then like spliced him with Doctor Who. My number 1 is Krang the Conqueror.
Yeah, okay.
Krang the Conqueror. He's a multi-time being. He's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. He knows all of history. He's a genius. He's skilled hand-to-hand combat. He's got advanced technology from the future. He's been from like the Stone Age to now, like he to the future. He's been everywhere. He knows everything. He's like the ultimate villain. Like I said, if he's Doctor Doom, if you gave him time powers, also.
All right, nice. Malcolm, did you have one that nobody said yet?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I've already talked about my number 1, because my number 1 was Mr. Fantastic. I've already talked about the Fantastic Four. But I did have one that was passed on, which hasn't actually come back up. My number 8 was passed on, which was Deadpool. But I think that was with X-Force.
Oh.
Yeah, Jeff's got that number 1.
Oh, okay.
I guess we can talk about Deadpool now anyway. So.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, Deadpool's one of the ones that I think they could do really well if they bring him into the MCU, because and this is one that I'd love for them to keep Ryan Reynolds, but if they don't, I'd like to see him just stay in the costume and have Nolan North do the voice, because he did Nolan North was the voice of Deadpool in the video games, and that would be a good way to keep him in there. But like next to Ryan Reynolds, here's another perfect Deadpool. And I mean, for a movie, I think do what they did with him when they first introduced him in the comics, because there's this comic called Deadpool's Super Secret Wars, where they just inserted Deadpool in all the scenes in Secret Wars and showed what he was doing during that. Because and they could do the same with having the character Deadpool sort of popping up like kind of like a clip show sort of thing, but having Deadpool pop up in crucial scenes of the MCU throughout the movies as well. So I mean, that could be an entertaining way to bring Deadpool in as a one-off sort of movie, and then maybe a post-credit scene showing him sort of joining, like maybe the Avengers team or something at the end there.
Yeah, seeing Ian Schwarmer at the end.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, you had Deadpool also on your list, I believe.
Okay, I had Deadpool at number 1, and it's for a really goofy reason. But I think the reason has a lot of merit because I honestly feel like Deadpool in the Marvel Universe would kind of pull people out of the film a little bit. The MCU has got a pretty good track record of having a pretty solid story, even though it seems like they're kind of getting formulaic with how they introduce the character, how they show the character getting their powers, how they show them having a difficult time, and then how they redeem that difficult time. I think it seems like they could get into that trope, but I feel like the issue comes into you have a serious movie like, say, Avengers 4 is coming out, and all of a sudden, yeah, we're going to throw Deadpool in here. But then almost every time that he's on screen, he looks at the camera and says something. Oh, and then it just weirds everybody out. It's like, what's your power? Just being super random? Because at that point, it kind of makes his character moot. Because what I want to see them do with him, and this is, like I said, totally selfish and goofy of me, is one of my favorite Deadpool stories. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Yes. I want to see Deadpool. You never have to take his mask off. It doesn't, like they said, this guy could have the mask on the whole time. It doesn't matter really who plays him, but get somebody who can do the voice. Whether it's Ryan Reynolds doing the voice, whether it's Nolan North doing the voice, I'm totally fine with either one of those. But I want to see you have your established Marvel Universe. You have all these actors in there, contract or not. If all they're doing is doing a cameo, because some of those deaths in that comic book story were literally just small cameos, or like they didn't even show. They had Daken and X-23. They had both of their metal skeletons hanging from the ceiling by the time we got to Wolverine. It's like he boiled Magneto alive in a cube full of acid. Like these things, I just want to see these absolutely crazy deaths. Have it happen in Captain America. Thor gets smashed by his own hammer that gets giganticized by Hank Pym's technology. It would be, I mean, I just want to see these things happen. Is it absolutely necessary for the MCU to do? No. But I don't care if I'm 50 years old with my grandkids or 60 years old with my grandkids and sitting on a couch and I'm like, finally, Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. And I'm just watching all these actors just get their asses handed to by this guy. I will die happy at that point.
Hell yes. Absolutely.
Well, we all have interesting top 10 lists, and a lot of these guys know their comics, man. They read them a lot, and they know what they want in the MCU. Let's go. We're gonna give a rundown for each person's top 10 lists, and it was all subjective. You know, we all just had a friendly debate. You know, we love who we love, and we want to see these people soon. So Disney, we know you have eyes and ears everywhere. Take note of this. Start making scripts. Start putting these people's in. All right, let's start with Thomas. 1 through 10, Thomas. What do you have?
Number 1, Silver Surfer and Galactus. Just amazing. Number 2, Doom. 3, The Fantastic Four. Number 4, Gambit. Number 5, Wolverine. Number 6, Hope Summers. Number 7, Cable and X-Force, the movie. Number 8, Shadowcat Ninja Kitty Pryde. Number 9, Gwenpool, the movie. And number 10, Rogue in her big, strong, flying badass form.
Nice. Malcolm, 1 through 10, brother.
My number 1 was Mr. Fantastic. My number 2 was Doctor Doom. My number 3 was Human Torch. My number 4 was Silver Surfer. My number 5 was Galactus. My number 6 is Cable. My number 7 is Kitty Pryde. My number 8 is Deadpool. My number 9 is Magneto, and 10 is Wolverine.
Nice, nice. All right, let's go to Jeff.
My number 1 was Deadpool. Number 2 was Storm. 3, Wolverine. 4, Dr. Victor Von Doom. 5, Magneto. 6, Phoenix Force. 7, Beast. 8, Professor X. 9, Mr. Fantastic. And 10, Psylocke.
Awesome. Let's go to Boatman.
Yeah, okay. Should I go 1 to 10, 10 to 1? Does it matter? I'll go 1 to 10. All right, Doctor Doom at number 1, Gambit at number 2, Silver Surfer and Galactus number 3, Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four number 4. Number 5, I got the Super Skrull. 6, I got Bishop. 7, I got Magneto. At 8, I got Kitty Pryde, aka Shadow Cat. 9, I got Mastermind, and number 10, Avalanche, aka Lance Alvera from the cartoon.
All right, and Caleb Mastato's.
My number 1 was Ramatut. Nathaniel Richards. Krang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror. My number 2 is Super Skrull. Number 3 was The Thing. Number 4 was Marrow. Number 5 was The Human Torch. Number 6 was Mimic. Should have said Hope Summers. I didn't think of that one. Number 7 is Puppet Master. Number 8 is Polaris. Number 9 is Zorn from the new X-Men. And number 10 was the Silver Surfer.
All right. And I had number 1, Dr. Doom. Number 2, Silver Surfer. Number 3, Namor the Submariner. Number 4, I had Magneto. Number 5, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I had Sabretooth. And at number 6, I had another brother of the Evil Mutants. I had Juggernaut. Number 7, I had the Savage Land. At number 8, I had Omega Red. And number 9, I had Gladiator. And number 10 is Wolverine. So we all had a unique perspective. I believe we had 2 people had Deadpool. 1 person had Storm. 6 people had Dr. Doom. 6 people had Silver Surfer on their list. We had 4 people with Wolverine, if I'm not mistaken. 6 people with Magneto. Kitty Pryde had 3 people that had her on the list. Super Skrull, I believe, had 1. Gambit actually had 2 people.
Super Skrull had 2.
2. Super Skrull. And then we had a couple of unique ones. Psylocke, Rogue, Avalanche, MODOK, Gwenpool, Mastermind, Professor X, Polaris, Hope Summers, Bishop, Mimic. So it was all over the place here with our list of dream characters we want to see in the MCU. Before we head out, because it's been a great time here, let's go around the world and see where we can find these people. Let's go to the first person I see, Caleb Boatman. Where can I find you, brother?
Yeah, you can find me on my channel, Caleb Boatman. I do Schmodown reactions. I'm trying to get other content on there too, but I haven't done that yet. Also, you can see me on Schmodown All Access, which is on this channel, Jack of All Trivia. It's such a fun show to be on. I love being on that show. Be sure to check that out. And check me out on whenever I have matches on Jack of All Trivia. I have one tomorrow against Christopher Day. So he has a big ego, but that's okay. Might as well be played by Kurt Russell.
All right. And let's go to another guy that we haven't on here, that we haven't had here for a long time. Jeff, where can the good people find you, brother?
You can find me and Thomas actually both at Super Geeks on Facebook. But just a big geeky community. We're really friendly. We have a lot of great discussion. There's no like mud flinging or anger or anything. So we're pretty cool about everything. We love hearing different opinions. We love hearing things come from all over. So Super Geeks, Super Geeks on Facebook. We are trying to pump out more content. Thomas and I used to have a podcast back in the day when podcasts were really big and popular. Now everybody's on YouTube, so we're trying to make the transition. But Super Geeks.
Gen Con meetup.
Awesome. All right, let's
this weekend,
partner in crime.
And a bunch of us are meeting up at Gen Con. So.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right, let's go to his partner in crime. Thomas, where can the good people find you, brother?
Yep, Jeff said it all. Definitely check us out over at Facebook, the Super Geeks group page, where we're just chit-chatting about movies, TVs, comic books all the time. Just constantly posting stuff, at least there. And it's a good time. So check us out, Super Geeks.
All right, awesome. Malcolm.
You can find me on Take 3 Productions, where I host my show rank them with where we take a topic and then for important rank them. Pretty self-explanatory. You can also find me competing in trivia all over the place, and you can also find me on Facebook at Malcolm Goldie Lay and Twitter, not Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, and Stardust at Malcor.
All right, and the co-founder here at Jack of All Trivia, Caleb Mashed Potatoes.
You can find me on Facebook at Caleb H or on Twitter at the Caleb Hansen, but all I ever do is retweet Jack of All Trivia stuff. So just follow Jack of All Trivia on Twitter. You can find my band, The Beta Waves. We're on Bandcamp. We're on Facebook. If you're in the Chicago area, you can come see us at Wire in Berwyn this Friday. Please come out if you're in the Chicago area. We need people. It's a big venue, and we don't draw that many people. And also, we've got new music up on Bandcamp, so check it out. It's The Beta Waves.
Awesome. And of course, the other guys that left, they will be around at Jack of All Trivia. Christopher Day. I am Haven the Villain Pendergast. You can find me on Facebook at Jack of All Trivia. That's how you join our league. We hang out, do matches, and of course on YouTube. That's how you're watching this. And if you like what you're seeing, you subscribe. Hit the like bell icon, and of course join us at Jack of All Trivia. I want to thank everybody that's been here tonight, taking hours out of their day to talk sweaty stuff like John Schnepp will be proud of, and of course. If you haven't yet, you could go to the GoFundMe page and help the Schnepp family out with the medical bills of John Schnepp, RIP. And of course, I would like to say thank you, everybody, for being here. God bless and good night.